So here, by far, to me, the easiest approach would just be to factor these by hand. Notice they're both trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. And if you go to side 1 of our math reference documents on page 33 here, you can see that that falls under scenario 4. And notice I call this the numbers game. So I'm going to go through that numbers game approach pretty quickly. If you really want to understand it in depth, which I do recommend, you can check out this 20-minute Factoring Trinomials Type 1 video that's located under the week number 6 assignment. Now the way we factor this is we say what two numbers multiply to 20 and add to give you 9. So of the numbers that multiply to 20, the only ones that also add up to 9 are going to be 4 and 5. So we'll go ahead and put that 4 and 5. And then how do you multiply to get a positive? Well, they're either both positive or both negative. Of those two scenarios, this plus means they're both positive. I always like to do an outer inner check. So positive 5x, positive 4x gives you positive 9x. So that's looking good. Let's do the same thing for the denominator. So we're going to say what two numbers multiply to 10 and have a difference of 3? Well, 2 and 5 multiply to 10, and they're different by 3, so those are going to be our two numbers. So we'll say 2 and 5. How do you multiply to get a negative? A positive and a negative, with the bigger being positive. Again, I go through this in depth in that factoring master class. And then now you can cancel the x plus 5s that they have in common, and you see the x plus 4 over x minus 2, which matches with option B. And keep in mind, whenever they give you this kind of condition, it's just to cover their bases. Don't worry about that. It's just for unique scenarios. Like, let's say, for example, if x were negative 5, then negative 5 plus 5 is 0. You'd have 0 in the denominator. It's undefined there, so they're covering their bases with that. Just don't worry about that part. Now, if you really have a hard time with factoring and you just kind of freeze up, I do want to show you what you could do with Desmos. That's pretty cool. You can go in, and then we can go ahead and just say, all right, let's work backwards by typing this in. So plus, oops, let me go down here, plus 9x plus 20. And if I find the x-intercepts, which is what you're doing when you're setting it equal to 0, is you find negative 5 and negative 4. Well, if those are the x-intercepts, in other words, x equals negative 5 and x equals negative 4, which we could see even more clearly if we actually type this as equal to 0. Do you see how it gives us those two lines, x equals negative 5, x equals negative 4? So those are the solutions. Go backwards by essentially moving the term to the other side. X plus 5 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0 by doing the opposite operation, in this case adding 4 over. This gives you the factors. So notice x plus 5, x plus 4. And we could actually do the same thing with the denominator, which was x squared plus 3x minus 10. And let's do the same thing where we say equals 0. Maybe I could zoom out a little bit, and we could see those solutions are x equals negative 5, x equals positive 2. And then same thing, we can make them factors of x plus 5, x minus 2. And we still get the correct answer is B.